Children are naturally curious, and we know as they grow up, their questions can get challenging for adults, and it always seems like those questions about puberty or global headlines or death or sex can catch us off guard. So to help us prepare for those unexpected questions, we have parenting expert Karen Irwin on the show today. Great to have you in studio.
Yeah, good morning.
We've all fielded a few of those questions from our kids from time to time, especially when they're younger and they're starting to see and absorb and process the world around them. Sometimes, you know, it's always at the moments we're not expecting to have these conversations, and the temptation can be to dance around or to pivot away from it. You say that's the wrong response. Why?
Yeah, no, as parents, we want to make sure that we are providing our kids with age-appropriate and accurate information that's clear and concise around the topic that they're asking us. You know, we're their trusted resource, so, you know, that's also important for them to know. And we also need to be the ones to answer these questions because we need to prepare our kids for reality and what they're going to experience as they grow older and they see more in their world.
Yeah, they're naturally curious. They're going to find an answer somewhere. Better that it be from you. Okay, let's go through some examples of unexpected questions that kids might ask. Here's a scenario. You're out for a walk with your child. You pass by somebody who's smoking cannabis, and they say, "What's that smell?"
Yeah, this actually happened last week with my 6-year-old. And so what I would do is I would go, "Yeah, I smell that too. That is someone smoking cannabis." Usually there will then be the follow-up question, well, what's cannabis? And we want to label it and provide a very sort of clear and accurate description of it. Cannabis is a drug that adults can either smoke, drink, or eat that might make their body feel calm or relaxed or silly. They might be doing it for a medical condition. But I think we just walked by someone who is smoking cannabis, and that's what we smelled.
How do you respond if they ask if it's bad?
I think that it's important to, again, be clear and say, you know, that's why we want adults to be the ones that are engaging with cannabis because they have the way of thinking to be able to make sure they're doing it properly and accessing it from a safe source.
All right, let's do another scenario. So what if you meet somebody who's pregnant and then your child asks, usually in front of that person, where do babies come from? What's your answer?
Again, being very clear, saying babies are made with an egg and a sperm, and the baby grows inside the tummy. And when it's ready, usually after 9 months, it sends a signal, and then the baby is born. And I, with this one, would follow up by saying, you know, we have a book at home, and then I would suggest getting a book that we should look at together so I can help explain this and answer more questions that you might have. I think that that helps you, you know, sort of stop the more questioning, but also ensure that your kid's going to get the information they need.
Yeah, the follow-up questions to that one could be a whole half-hour sitcom.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it some other time. All right, lastly, how do you respond when someone has died and your child starts asking questions about death?
So again, we need to be very clear and matter of fact, and we say, you know, when someone dies or is dead, it means their body's no longer working. They're no longer feeling anything. And the reason why we want to do this is we want to avoid euphemisms so that we're not leaving this sort of like unknown gray area, also letting kids use their magical thinking to make it more complicated or confusing or scary for them. So having that very sort of clear answer is helpful, especially when they just ask you out of the blue.
Yeah, I mean, that question, depending on when you experience death with a friend or a family, can change in age. So what is the different responses, let's say, for kids versus teens?
I think that when kids are older and maybe they have a connection with that person, as also you can get into more of the illness or the tragedy or the accident that maybe happened to cause the death or dying. And again, using like clear language, labeling things, defining them. I think that kids have the capacity to learn from that better and maybe have more of an understanding. And then a talk is definitely about what's going to happen after the individual has died and also about the feelings that they might experience and how the feelings are normal and natural.
What if your child has an unexpected question that you don't have an answer to right away?
This is very important for parents to remember. You don't always have to have the answers right away, and it's okay to say, you know what, buddy, that's a really great question. I would then say, I'm going to write it down or put it in my phone. That shows them that you value that question. I'm going to find out some more, or when I'm ready to answer it, we'll get back together and I'll share more. And this lets kids know that, you know, you might not know all the answers, but you believe it's important to find them out. And it also creates a culture in your home where, you know, we just talk about things. And even if I'm not ready in that moment, that's okay. I'll readdress it at another time.
Karen, thanks so much for coming in. Great answers.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.